Get some insight now from Klaus Jurgens. He's an European affairs analyst and joins me live now from Innsbruck in Austria. Thank you for being with us on the program. Just give me your insight on what you think of the general support for the far right in Europe. Taking Romania, for example, all bets were on Simion. He won the first round, but during the second time round, his rival Dan was announced president.
Yes, very good day to you, and thanks for having me. It is indeed a number of observations I want to make, time permitting. First of all, as you said, yes, the far right and extreme right movements all across Europe seems to actually winning at the ballot box. Not winning outright, but winning percentage after percentage. Germany as a case in point with the AfD. Now, what surprises me in Romania is the actual turnout of voters, A, and B, leading to a very high far-right vote. Some commentators went so far to say this is a far-right extremist, Mr. Simion, as a candidate. Now, forget about the labeling. If you have 46% of a supposedly not center but far-right candidate, this is outperforming all other countries we have. This is outperforming the AfD. This time it didn't work out, but there is a danger, there is a threat, and that worries me to a great extent. This time perhaps they didn't win, but it will send a signal all across Europe, unfortunately, that it could become a possibility. For the time being, I think Romania stays on a pro-Europe course. Two key issues besides the economy. EU policies, and at the same time, do we continue to support the war in Ukraine with military options? And if you take these two together, it sends another clear signal to Europe that besides the economy, there is a wider political soul-searching going on. What kind of EU, what kind of Europe, what kind of NATO, what kind of geopolitical situation? And this is the positive dimension out of these elections. The far right worries me, but the actual result might stabilize Europe up to a certain extent and takes the steam out of the sails, so to speak, of other far right movements.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very interesting political dimension across Europe right now. And I think one of the main messages that it sends is that the society there is very divided. Why are we seeing an increase in polarization?
Well, I don't have the crystal ball. I'm asked this question regularly, and I really try to come up with an honest answer. And my honest answer is the following. It is the mainstream political parties which simply do not deliver anymore. It is not that the far right or extreme right parties woke up one day and said we have better solutions. It is a certain discontent amongst voters in general. And a huge proportion of far-right supporters are actually not far-right at all. They're simply dissatisfied with what is called the legacy political parties, the mainstream political parties. Think about Germany, by comparison, a much bigger country. Now we have another grand coalition, so to speak. And if this one fails, some commentators already say we might have Romanian situations that the far-right party will actually go well beyond 30%. What does this dissatisfaction lead to? Polarization, as you said, in society. If no clear way forward is shown how to tackle an economic crisis, how to make sure that families actually on the last day of the month can still put a meal on the table. I'm not exaggerating here. When you speak with people, from the cab driver to people on the street, which I literally regularly do, you hear that the economy is not as good as it looks, and we have to take care of that mainstream political parties take the ordinary man on the street seriously. Now, the polarization is in partly fueled by the media in Europe, in particular the mainstream media, by choosing wrong language, by choosing very polarizing language. Then we have the politicians who openly, verbally attack the opponent number, and the people are simply fed up with. So as I've said, I have no crystal ball. Polarization is riding, and who is benefiting? Far right and extreme right, and sometimes extreme left parties. It's a wake-up call for the established parties. I don't know if that is exactly the answer you had in mind, but this is my personal observation. Polarization is not made by the extreme parties. Polarization is made by the mainstream political establishment not addressing voters' concerns adequately.
Very interesting. European Affairs Analyst Klaus Jurgens, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.